Una hacia marica. Ahora que estamos muy arriba. Más rápido zapatos. Ahora que estamos muy arriba. Más rápido zapatos. Algo así.
1. The earthquake that shook Colombia. A powerful 7.4-magnitude earthquake struck western Colombia on Monday morning, turning an ordinary day into a massive emergency within seconds. The earthquake hit at around 7:34 a.m., with the epicenter near San José del Palmar in the Choco region. The shaking was felt across a huge part of the country, including major cities hundreds of miles away. Buildings swayed, walls cracked, streets filled with debris, and terrified residents rushed outside as the ground continued moving beneath them. Two, the scale of the disaster. What began as a terrifying earthquake quickly developed into a nationwide disaster. The latest reports indicate that the death toll has climbed above 250, while thousands of people have been injured. But officials warn that the final toll could still rise as rescue teams reach areas that remain difficult to access. Some people are still believed to be trapped beneath collapsed buildings, while others remain unaccounted for. For rescuers, every passing hour has become a race against time.
Madonna! Questo è peggio di Pakistan.
Señor, Padre amado. Ay, Dios mío, Señor. Ay, ¿qué es esto? Mi peladito, Señor. Ay, 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 Padre. ¿Qué es esto? Ay, ay, Dios mío, ¿qué es esto? Ay, 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 Señor. Cálmate, Padre, cálmate. Cálmate, Señor.
3. Entire buildings collapsed. The earthquake caused severe structural damage across several cities and communities. More than 1,600 structures were reported damaged in the initial assessments, including dozens that completely collapsed. Some buildings were reduced to piles of concrete, bricks, and twisted metal, leaving rescue crews searching through unstable ruins for survivors. In several locations, residents could be seen standing in the streets, watching as buildings around them were declared unsafe.
No hay más nadie allá. Sí, todo se cae, todo se cae. Cristo incluye las 4 velas blancas. Antonio bendito.
4. Pereira among the hardest hit areas. The city of Pereira and surrounding areas were among the places hit particularly hard. Powerful, shaking, damaged buildings and infrastructure, while emergency teams were forced to search through collapsed structures. Dramatic footage from Pereira showed buildings shaking violently and parts of structures giving way. In one of the most frightening scenes, passengers inside a cable car were trapped as the gondolas swung dramatically during the earthquake, capturing just how violent the shaking was.
Mire cómo se mueve. Mire cómo se está moviendo el aeropuerto. Esos sitios de allá. Durísimo. Mira, mira, mira que se cayó, mira que se cayó, mira, 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 mira. Ay,
¡Ay! 5. Manizales also suffered serious damage. Manizales was another major urban area affected by the earthquake. Buildings were damaged, walls cracked, and parts of older structures were left unstable. One particularly visible symbol of the destruction was damage to a historic cathedral structure. Residents rushed outdoors as buildings shook, while authorities began inspecting structures for signs of dangerous structural failure. The scenes showed how even buildings that remained standing could still pose a serious threat after such a powerful earthquake.
¡ay, hijo de puta!
Por favor, Dios mío santo, por favor, te lo suplico.
Ay, el bolsón me quedó adentro.
¡Puta, mi casa!
El carro.
6. Cali was also hit. The earthquake was strongly felt in Cali, Colombia's third largest city, where emergency crews reported significant damage. Parts of medical facilities were affected, adding another challenge to an already overwhelmed emergency response. Across the city and surrounding communities, residents were forced to evacuate damaged buildings, while authorities assessed the safety of homes, hospitals, and other essential infrastructure. Communication problems also complicated efforts to determine exactly how badly some areas had been affected. Seven. Remote communities face another danger. Some of the most difficult rescue operations are taking place in remote parts of western Colombia. The Choco region contains mountainous and jungle terrain, making access much harder than in major cities. Roads, communications, and transportation have been disrupted, meaning emergency crews cannot immediately reach every affected community. Authorities are still working to determine the full extent of the destruction in some isolated areas, raising fears that the true number of victims could be higher than currently reported.
Uy, está temblando.
Hay poder, mamá, camina, mamá. ¡Ay, Señor, Señor! ¡Ten misericordia! ¡Ten misericordia, Señor! ¡Señor Jesús! ¡Hay poder, hay poder! Todo lo podemos en Cristo que nos fortalece. Todo lo podemos en Cristo. Todo lo podemos en Cristo. ¡Cuidado con el poste! Señor Jesús. Precioso Dios, hay poder, hay poder.
La abuela, mala abuela.
Señor, cúbrenos con tu manto precioso, Señor Jesús. Señor, Señor, cúbrenos, Señor. Tú eres.
Ya, amor, ya.
No, mi vida, tenemos que clamar al Señor. ¿A quién más vamos a clamar?
Hay poder en la sangre de Cristo, Señor. Padre de la gloria, Señor. Tú eres grande, Dios. Calma todo, Señor, Dios mío. En el nombre de Jesús, Señor. Para esto, Jesús.
8. People trapped under the rubble. Perhaps the most desperate scenes are coming from collapsed buildings, where rescuers are listening for voices and searching for signs of life beneath tons of debris. The first 48 to 72 hours after a major earthquake are considered critical for finding survivors, and there have already been moments of hope. Rescue teams have pulled survivors from the rubble, including a baby, proving that people can remain alive even after spending hours trapped beneath collapsed structures.
¡Ojo! ¡El edificio! ¡El edificio!
¡El edificio! ¡No! ¡Es la tierra de abril! ¡La tierra de abril! ¡Quieta! ¡Dios! ¡Dios! ¡Demos tus manos, Jesús! ¡Jesús de Nazaret! ¡Jesucristo! ¡Santa María!
Ahí la casa de la vecina.
¡Santificado! Dios, Jesús de Nazaret, recemos, muchachos. Dios, en tu mano estamos, Jesucristo. En tu mano estamos, Dios. Dios, la sangre de Cristo, Dios mío, tiene poder. Jesús de Nazaret, Dios. Estamos en la gloria del Señor. Jesús, Dios, Santo Cristo. Dios, Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado.
9. A woman survives almost 30 hours. In one extraordinary rescue, a 31-year-old woman was reportedly found alive after spending nearly 30 hours trapped beneath the rubble. Her rescue offered a powerful reminder to emergency workers that the search cannot stop simply because time is passing. Across affected communities, families have been waiting desperately for news about relatives who have disappeared since the earthquake. Rescuers continue removing concrete and debris piece by piece, hoping to discover more survivors.
No, vamos a calar, señora, vamos a calar, señora.
Ya hicimos el camello, salgan de aquí.
Vamos, evacuemos. Saquemos, por favor, vamos a trabajar en el lado de allá. Ya aquí sacamos el niño, vamos a calar, señora, por favor. Cuidado.
The human toll continues to rise. The number of victims has changed rapidly as authorities receive new information from different regions. Earlier reports counted dozens of deaths, then more than 100, and the latest reports now put the death toll above 250. Thousands more have been injured. The changing figures reflect the enormous scale of the disaster and the difficulty of collecting accurate information while rescue operations are still underway. Officials continue warning that the numbers could change again as more areas are reached.
Marico, está temblando. Y yo desnuda. Uy, ¿qué hacemos? No podemos bajar, es un peligro bajar, yo creo. ¿Te puedo agarrar, por favor? No va. No sé.
11. Hospitals and emergency services under pressure. The destruction of medical infrastructure has created another emergency inside the emergency. Hospitals and medical facilities in affected regions have suffered damage, while injured people have arrived in large numbers. Emergency workers must treat patients while also dealing with damaged buildings, aftershocks, and limited resources. Medical teams are being pushed to their limits as authorities work to move critical patients and deliver supplies to communities where normal healthcare services have been disrupted. 12. Aftershocks keep people outside. Even after the main earthquake ended, the danger did not disappear. Aftershocks have continued to shake parts of the region, creating additional risks for damaged buildings and people working near unstable structures. Many residents have chosen to remain outside rather than return home, fearing that weakened buildings could collapse during another tremor. Rescue teams also have to work carefully because every movement around damaged structures can potentially trigger another collapse. 13. The earthquake was felt far beyond the epicenter. The earthquake was not limited to the immediate area around San José del Palmar. Powerful shaking was felt across much of Colombia, including cities such as Cali, Pereira, Manizales, and Quibdó, while tremors were also felt beyond Colombia's borders. Reports indicate that the shaking reached neighboring countries including Ecuador and Panama, demonstrating the enormous reach of a magnitude 7.4 earthquake.
No hacia marica, no hacia marica.
Jesús de Nazaret.
14. International help begins arriving. As Colombia struggles to respond, international assistance is beginning to arrive. The United States has pledged more than $15 million in assistance, while countries including Mexico, El Salvador, and Chile have offered or sent support and rescue resources. International humanitarian organizations are also mobilizing teams and supplies. The goal is now not only to rescue survivors, but also to provide shelter, food, medical care, and basic necessities to communities that have suddenly lost homes and essential services. 15. The search is not over. And tonight, the search continues. Behind every collapsed building is a family waiting for answers, and behind every rescue operation is the hope that another survivor can still be found. Colombia is now facing a massive recovery effort involving emergency crews, volunteers, soldiers, medical teams, and international organizations. The full scale of the destruction may not be known for days. But as rescuers continue digging through the rubble, one message remains clear. The disaster is far from over, and the race to save lives continues.